What is going on, gang? It's your boy, DBGTX-YT, and I told you guys that I will be coming with a new series, and not even a new series, it's more so a series that I wanted to resurface over on the channel in regards to my Black Clover fans and my Black Clover community. I did promise I was going to give you guys technique guides, reviews, and all that, besides, of course, giving you guys my Black Clover Tuesday weekly reviews and reactions. So without further ado, from this point forward, what we will be doing here on the channel is also reviewing every Sunday, of course, the latest and greatest Black Clover. And if in that week there isn't a chapter, which Yuki Tabata is usually good about releasing weekly chapters, but if there isn't a particular chapter there and whatnot, then unfortunately we won't do it that week. But this is something I definitely want to bring to the table. That way I have much more discussions with you guys in the Black Clover community, of course, updated. As you guys may know, Black Clover usually comes out as far as the manga every Sunday on Viz Media. Sometimes we get them earlier on a Friday, depending on the release date and whatnot, based off the business week. But the biggest thing is that online, the Vietnamese or Korean community generally ends up getting their copies of Shonen Jump earlier than a lot of other places, so they can upload it online. So I will try to be on top of all of that and make sure that I be one of the first people to deliver the reaction and review of the chapter. So without further ado, chapter 275 review begins right now. If you like Black Clover, make sure you go ahead and hit the sub, the follow, the share, and continue coming through, because this is it. This is where we're going to be at from now on. We're going to be delivering all sorts of Black Clover content on the channel as well, besides Dragon Ball, anime, and gaming content. So let's go ahead and break down what happened in the chapter. Of course, the last chapter ends with MereoLeona appearing in front of the great demon and whatnot, and that is to be used as a distraction in order for the rest of the royal knights to be able to get into the Spade Kingdom's castle and go ahead and start the final battle for the freedom of the Heart Kingdom and the Diamond Kingdom. Now, the chapter begins with everybody dividing themselves up into pairs of threes and going into separate direction. Of course, with MereoLeona being outside, causing the major distractions and whatnot, that's generally making a lot of ruckus outside and causing a lot of the guards to be able to concentrate their forces on the outside, of course, with the other Liberation Army and all that stuff happening out there. And the inside, since it's not as heavily guarded, obviously the Royal Knights are getting through the cannon fodder pretty fast, eliminating everybody that's in their way one by one, or whatever the case might be. The coolest part of this chapter is the fact that Tabata never ever stops delivering on panelization. When I tell you, every week this man gives you a panel that is worthy to speak on, as far as art, as far as beauty, as far as everything goes. Every single week there is an amazing panel here. The paneling structure for Yuki Tabata's Black Clover is immaculate. It's just not all over the place. And I can talk to you guys about this matter because of the simple fact that I read a lot of One Piece, I read a lot of Naruto, I read a lot of different types of shonen, and sometimes it can be a super cluster in one page when you're reading this, not just online, but in the book or in your manga or whatever the case might be. Sometimes the clutter can take away from, you know, what you experiencing as a reader. And in this case, Yuki Tabata has never ever failed to give us some amazing paneling and giving us breathing room, and this chapter does the same. We get a full-size page of MereoLeona's new skill called the embodiment of hellfire or monozone purgatory. Essentially, she takes the mana area. Look, when I try to tell you that this man can draw, this man can draw. She takes the mana from the air, from the natural air, and concentrates it around her body, causing her body to literally light up on fire. Like, she looks like the Human Torch, bro. That's just the best way to explain it. She looks like the Human Torch. She looks like the Human Torch. That is just crazy. So in the following chapter after that, she goes ahead, follows up, chops off the demon's arm in one fell swoop. But of course the guy has 4 arms, and I'm assuming that what ends up happening is that it either regrows, or it looks like she chopped it off, but in the next chapter it looks like she just punches it. So the demon, having 4 arms or whatever, tries to attack her with the others, and she's just pummeling them and pushing them back, hits him with an uppercut, and the guy is falling down. And as he's falling down, she jumps up to the air overhead and then comes down, raining her, of course, Gladius Brachium Purgatory, but a step further, calling it the Abyss. So this paneling right here is outrageous. I mean, outrageous. This is a beautiful panel, and I'm showing it to you guys on screen because it is the only panel that I am allowed to show on screen without being able to get into any sort of media trouble. Of course, with Viz Media and Shueisha following the guidelines, one panel in this particular video, and this is the panel that I have to give it up to this man. This man delivers every single time. Shading, structure, power. You understand the magnitude of things that are happening in this particular manga. But if you think that it ends there, it just doesn't. The next chapter immediately goes back into the castle, and of course now we got the setup for the biggest fights in Black Clover to date. So now the Dark Triads are facing the squad captains and vice captains of each one of the Royal Knights. 3 versus 1 against these tyrants. What's gonna happen in the next chapter of Black Clover? I honestly don't know, but I can tell you one thing that's for sure. Vanica has to fight Noel. So I am going to assume that these guys are not gonna be it. The squad captains are not gonna be it when it comes down to Vanica. I don't know if the other 2 guys would be of any use, let's put it like that, in that regard. But of course we got the second fight, or the rematch, between Yuno and Xenon, and then Dante is fighting, of course, Jack the Ripper. So in my defense, you gotta understand that Jack can beat Dante. That to me is not something that's gonna be new, only because of the simple fact that Yami and Jack are essentially almost at the same power level. You may say Yami is a little bit stronger, but overall, when it comes down to it, it has always been implied that Jack is as strong as Yami, or close to Yami's power. So due to that, you got to understand that if Dante is fighting Jack, he's not going to win. So this battle can easily go to Jack and the 3 captains that are there, if that is Dante. But you got to understand one thing though, the panels give a lot of things away. And one of the things that is shown here with the panel with Dante is that they're not showing him. What does that mean? What that means is that individual that's there can possibly mean that it is not Dante. That's what it could possibly mean. What it could possibly mean is that when they go ahead and give the revelation, it could be Yami, it could be Vengeance, or it could be somebody else that's either being mind controlled or something like that. This is just the feel that I'm getting from it, because they revealed Vanica and they did reveal Xenon. So due to that, the third one is paneled in a way that it should have showed everybody's, like, at least a glimpse of that person, but it doesn't show. It just shows a shadowy figure standing in the far distance, which means that they still haven't seen who's there. It just looks like that's supposed to be who they're supposed to be fighting. That's just my opinion. Let's see what happens next week. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown, this review. I think that this is a solid setup for what's to come. Of course, we also have Asta that's supposed to be coming in at one point or another, and I am heavily pushing that he's going to come in and save the day against Yuno, because Yuno and versus Dante probably is gonna be, whoa, let's put it like that. Now, Vanica also is going to probably have an additional fighter or two going in there, because of course we have Noel, who's also has to show up. And then as far as Dante goes, I just feel like that's not Dante. That's really what it is. Like, I honestly just feel like that's not Dante, because if he is, then Jack the Ripper can take him. That's it. That's where I leave it at. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Holla at the boy DVGTX. And I'll see you guys next week with another Black Clover chapter review. Holla at the boy, and I'm out.